Hi, welcome to another video where I'm going to talk about my battles in a Show 6 Big 3 format in the Open Great League. This was before Toxapex was announced, which is gonna shift the meta a little bit if it's actually getting the moveset that it currently has, which is like Poison Jab, Muddy Water, and Sludge Wave. The main thing we're gonna be looking at is Umbreon and Walrein here. Two picks that... one of them has been nerfed a little bit, right? So it's less common, Walrein. And Umbreon is the other pick that thrives a little bit on the Registeel nerf, right? Even though Registeel isn't like that much worse now, it is less common. So Umbreon becomes better in that regard. I'm not going in a full meta analysis simply because this is probably the last or semi-last video before Toxapex's introduction, and on top of that, I think it is helpful for those who participate in metas where it's not announced, where it's not allowed yet, right? Because that's what TPCI or Play Pokemon might say as well, that the new Pokemon is not allowed yet. So yeah, let's take a look here at the first opponent, Sandrostus, who's running a pretty similar line in Umbreon, Nidoqueen, Trevenant, and G-Fisk. But he has Azumarill and Medicham instead of my Walrein and Swampert. This looks overall pretty neutral. Both our Trevenants are looking really good, but we also cover our Trevenants with Umbreon, which is probably like the hardest wall to it, aside from like a Pidgeot probably. So yeah, let's take a look at these battles. We're gonna look at one battle per set of 3. Here I lead my Trevenant into their Azumarill, very lucky for me, and they swap in Nidoqueen, very lucky for me as well. Generally, Nidoqueen does not win this matchup ever in even shields, right? You can take an Earth Power here. The Poison Jabs triple resisted, don't do anything. Poison Fang doesn't do as much either, but Nidoqueen can flip this into 2 shields if they shield an Earthquake correctly. If G-Fisk double baits Rock Slide, I believe you might actually be able to win the 0-2 shields with G-Fisk. So let's take a look. I go straight Earthquake here. I think going Rock Slide is very risky at times, but shielding the first move from Nidoqueen is just as risky, really, because if you shield a Poison Fang bait, they can actually flip that, and that's scary. So yeah, at this point, I'm a shield up. They let the Nidoqueen go at that point, and I'm fine with this, right? They stay in a little bit, and see, they try to catch maybe. I time my Seed Bomb in their bubble, so they cannot catch. This doesn't do that much to Azumarill, though. We'll see what's in the back. Oh boy, Switch would have been beautiful for them, to be honest. I'm gonna throw the Seed Bomb here first, and then go into my Walrein. Even though Walrein's Icicle Spear now is more expensive, it still puts up a very good fight here against Umbreon. Umbreon's probably the thickest, almost like the thickest Pokemon in competitive Open Great League at the moment. Right? Its stat distribution is almost 2500. The only one to top that really, but that we don't see as common, is Bastiodon. Obviously, there's also stuff like Chansey, but no one's using those. So yeah, this is a bit of a boring matchup somewhat. You're just throwing Charge Move and Charge Move, cheap Charge Move over and over. But as you can see, Walrein still, despite the nerf, still puts up a very good fight against this Umbreon here. So that's pretty nice. My alignment, very fortunate here. This was actually the least RPS matchup, I believe, in this set. So this is the best I got, to be honest. Yeah, that should take this game for me. Let's take a look at the next matchup against 6'10 Hero. This is a very good player from Canada who's running Deoxys defense. I think Deoxys defense is a huge liability in Show 6 Pick 3 nowadays. It doesn't even hard counter Registeel or G-Fisk that much. On the other hand, it is a solid core against Lickitung, or with Lickitung, I mean. It does worse against it, on the other hand. And you beat Medicham with it. So it does have its niches, but I think it's very underwhelming. Let's take a look at what 6'10 Hero is going to use. I lead my Umbreon into their G-Fisk. This could still be a Lickitung in the back because I have no fighters on my team. I'm running ABB against Lickitung. I believe this was the third battle in this set. It was a really close one as well. So let's see. This is, I believe, slightly worse for normal Swampert because 2 Hydros don't take out this Lickitung. On the other hand, you can take a Body Slam if you call the bait. Obviously, you die to a Power Whip here. Let's see what my opponent is going to do. He does bait me and I shield that. That's a little bit unfortunate. I'll throw another Hydro here. They probably will match shields to keep alignment. But my opponent really liked using Alolan Ninetales, so maybe, I don't know if this is the play exactly. Let's see. They actually overfarm a little bit too much. Now they're probably at 2 Body Slams. Maybe they go for Power Whip. They go for Body Slam, but I think I have 2 now. I could flip this, but since my opponent used A9 so much before, I'm not going to. I'm going to take the shield advantage. So yeah, let's see. I'll farm it down with the Trevenant, and they come in with G-Fist. So this makes me think that there indeed is an Alolan Ninetales, and that's why I came in with the Trevenant, because I wanted to get a shield advantage, or sorry, energy advantage with that. I'll shield the first move, because I don't want to get too low. I'm gonna shield one eventually, because I need HP at some point anyway to get to a Shadow Ball on the Alolan Ninetales, but I must say I also kind of lost track of his energy at this point. I wasn't counting very well. I usually rarely do on stream. And at this point, I could have done another Shadow Claw. Will I now get to this Shadow Ball here? I don't. So I have to throw the Seed Bomb. This is so bad for me. This is so bad. But Umbreon is very thick. Very thick. Charm is super effective, but this is only half of an Alolan Ninetales now. Come on, Umbreon. Look at those charms. I think they did more on Trevenant, to be honest. That's how bulky this freaking Umbreon is. Water Ball coming in doesn't do that much. I think 2 foul plays is the play here. I might not get to a last resort, or 2 last resorts. Let's see. Foul play indeed does about half. I'll throw another one immediately, because I think they're at the Weather Ball now. And they are at the Weather Ball. Oh, that's so unfortunate. My Snarl did go through, but if this Weather Ball KOs, it doesn't matter. But it doesn't, and my Snarl does. That's actually really sick. I probably would have won that way more comfortably if I counted correctly, got that 1 extra Shadow Claw on the G-Fisk, and then Shadow Ball the Alolan Ninetales. It is what it is. The third game is against Jacklyman. Let's take a look here. Jacklyman, I've been having a lot of trouble with him. I never get the alignments well. At this point, I decided to play ABB against A9. I baited out with the Walrein here. And Walrein actually puts up a decent fight here. If they don't throw, I will get 2 Earthquakes here. Let's see if they do throw. They do throw, actually. Weather Ball will take me out here, despite being double resisted. But they even Side Shock at this point. So I'll farm it down with the Nidoqueen. Hopefully that they wouldn't get to a Weather Ball, but they did, unfortunately. I'll have to shoot that, but now I have a lot of energy for their Sableye. They might have something else that's decent against my Umbreon in the back, though. Let's see what it is. It is a G-Fisk. This is not a comfortable matchup at all, to be honest. This is such a boring matchup at all. Umbreon is really good, but it's very boring because it really relies on those cheap, fast, and not really high damage foul plays, right? You keep throwing so many of those. Some Pokemons get to like 2 charge moves per match. Umbreon is used to getting to like at least 5. This is an issue, because if I don't shield here, they foul play me with the Sableye. If I do shield, they return me. That will probably KO at this range. And I still need another foul play for this thing here. So this is definitely not great at all. I'm gonna throw before they can. Let's see what they do now. They let this go. You probably want to keep the shield for the Sableye. They do. And I'm gonna swap in my Nidoqueen immediately. They just have to foul play to win, or actually to return my Umbreon to win that. I'll go for another Fang here. I don't know if that's the play, to be honest, but what do I do at this point? It's kind of over anyway. They were counting very carefully as well, so they knew I was at another foul. Poison Fang here. A foul play will actually take them out at this point, but I'm 4 off. So that's kind of unfortunate. But a good game, though. I guess maybe if I threw Earth Power earlier and got a shield from the Sableye, then maybe I could have won that. I don't know. Tough matchup, either way. My next matchup is against Gyarados boy, a local, and he's running Pidgeot. That's a Pokemon you don't see a lot, but it covers Swampert, Medicham, and G-Fizz very well from Trevenant, right? It's probably one of the hardest Trevenant answers, if not the hardest. Let's take a look at these battles here. My Nidoqueen looks somewhat good here. My Trevenant does if I avoid Pidgeot, and my Walrein actually has a lot of neutral players, so I'm probably going to be using that a lot. On top of that, there's no hard Umbreon answer. It even can make it makes all even shields very close against Medicham. That's why I'm leading Umbreon, and I have G-Fisk in the back, right? I play ABA weak to Medicham, but Umbreon is so bulky, it still puts up such a good fight there. But they have Walrein here. I have Trevenant in the back, so that's nice for me. And they swap in their Swampert like that. Is this good for me? Yes, but also no. And I'm going to tell you why. Because my opponent is playing ABB against Trevenant. So that means they have Medicham in the back. So that's very tough for me. I kind of have to preserve my Trevenant at this point. But the timer is not up. The timer is not up. So I'll have to use my shields here to keep this thing alive for the Medicham. Unfortunately, my G-Fizz does not see a lot of play in this set. Because it's very prone to an Earthquake right now as well from the Walrein. Yeah, I do double shield here because I want to keep this for the Medicham. I'll probably grab the second shield by throwing a Seed Bomb here. Normal Walrein is a bit more difficult for Trev because a Seed Bomb does less, and thus Walrein has a little bit of a better matchup. Yeah, they swap in the Medicham immediately. This is fine. I had so much energy here regardless. So you're going to see how close this matchup actually is. Obviously, that is assuming that Medicham doesn't run Power Up Punch and or Dynamic Punch. If they run Ice Punch Psychic, this is very fine for Umbreon, to be honest. Because as you can see, the Ice Punches do nothing. And I guess I didn't think I would get to 2 foul plays, so I'll throw one last resort. Look at how close this gets. Yeah, I wouldn't have gone to another move. But he's at 1 HP here. I'll go in G-Fisk, soak this energy, and it should be game, to be honest. I'm like 2 off a Seed Bomb on my Walrein. Sorry, on my Trevenant, and they have to land an Earthquake on my G-Fisk as well. So that's game over. They needed a lot of energy on that Walrein there. Kind of tough spot for them, and I think I could read by myself by knowing they run ABB, right? A little bit. I realized a little bit too late, but what was I going to do anyway, right? I had to swap in my Trev into their Swampert. The next battle is against Dex, and Dex is the regionals winner of Liu last season. He's very good. He is probably the best Talonflame user I've ever seen. And it's actually my first time playing him, so I'm really curious on how he plays this out. He has the Talonflame here as well. He has Tapu Fini and Altaria, which are kind of tough. There are no hard Umbreon answers again. Even Tapu Fini does so, which shoots up. So I have a lot of play there. Other than that, probably my Walrein, but even against Talonflame, because of that Icicle Spear nerf, it's so. Let's take a look at these matchups. Trevenant into Lickitung. Well, that's exactly what I didn't want. I guess they predicted that I would say swap Umbreon. It basically can beat anything on their line. And they swap in their Galarian Stunfisk. I don't think that's the worst, I guess. Obviously, I want switch advantage. I don't know if they do. Because if they have a Talonflame at this point, they probably don't care at all about switched, and Talonflame would sweep me as well. Leading Trevenant was risky either way, because if they lead Talonflame and I go on Umbreon, they just Brave Bird and dip into something else. So I'm not sure if that's the thing I really want to do there. But Umbreon's Safe Swap is so good, like he has not a lot of answers. I'm playing ABB against Tapu Fini here, right? Bait out Tapu Fini with Umbreon, sweep with G-Fisk maybe. Yeah, they do let that go. This makes me very afraid. If there's a Talonflame now, I'm in big trouble, but it is Swampert, actually. So Swampert, Shadow Swampert specifically, is very tough for me here as well. I probably should have thrown a foul player regardless, but I wanted to time my move so badly. I'm gonna go to a C-Bomb and then swap into G-Fist. This is gonna be a huge mistake for later, but you'll see. So Shadow Swampert actually beats anything on my line with a shield up. It's actually very scary. So instead of sweeping with a Talonflame, Dex is now going for a Shadow Swampert sweep. I'm gonna bait the Rock Slide here. they no shield that. That feels bad. At this point, I kind of should have known. They're just keeping shield for Swampert, because 2 Hydros from Shadow Swampert will take out Trevenant. Let's see. Go for another Rock Slide here. They no shield again. And because our timers are so misaligned here, I cannot swap out into my Trevenant. I have to throw here. I'll throw the Rock Slide. Afraid I wouldn't get to the Earthquake. I think I had it though. And they shield that. I guess that's fortunate for me. But yeah, at this point, if he has... I mean, he has another... Did he have another? No, this is his last shield, right? Yeah. So they throw another Hydra. They have 2 Hydros. I'm quite low after this. I need to overfarm just a little bit. Oh, what? Oh, it was this match. And now because I lose a turn there, I don't get to that C-Bomb. I don't think the Licky Tongue was in C-Bomb range regardless, but that's what I needed. So yeah, good game. Very well played by Dex there, keeping a shield advantage for Swampert. He's really good. He's one of those players that can... Like, I think alignment is super important in Great League, but Dex can really make it work to just keep like a shield advantage or no alignment at all. Just energy or shield advantage somewhere and he can sweep. I think he's really good at that. So yeah, that was it for today's video. Basically mostly about Umbreon and Walrein, a lot of play there. And Trevenant, of course. Like Umbreon Trevenant is such a good core. Might even use it in the future. I hope you liked the video and have a good one.